Alright, that all seems to be working. That's good. Got my audio levels sorted. Let's crack on. It's been a while since I played this. I don't think I've ever passed it. I've only really played the Game Boy Color version of this game. Which for any of you that have played the Game Boy Color version of this game, it is a very interesting experience to say the least. Doesn't have the best screen crunch. I don't know if you've played Super Mario Deluxe, you'll know what I'm talking about on Game Boy Color. And it's not got the best contrast. I'm just gonna change some settings on my device and then we'll get started once a few people roll in. All right. Alright, let's get started with World 1-1. I'm not going to claim to be an expert or anything, but I always remember that there is a balloon here, which you definitely need for this game, because it is quite difficult to say the least. And this is always like a hidden Easter egg cutscene as well that you can get. He's a bit sad that he's lost his bananas. I am also playing this with a SNES controller as well, just for the authenticity, although not on an original SNES. I'm not that high tech, I couldn't get that one streaming. Definitely only Nintendo Switch streaming. Classic consoles are a bit hard with their RF cables. Actually don't know most of the secrets in the first level. It's been so long since I played. I remember there's the orangutan gang. Oh no, never mind. There we go. We're off to a bad start already. I'm just warming up though. I swear there used to be something in there. Classic animal buddies. Oh, I think it's here that I'm thinking of. Yeah, the secret in here was the one I was thinking of. I don't know what my favourite DK is so far. I know a lot of people like Donkey Kong Country 2. I think potentially DK 1 is my favourite, but again, like I was saying earlier, it's really the only one I've played all the way through. I definitely haven't played too much of 2, so it'll be interesting when we get up to that. And I have 100% not played 3 at all. Although I have seen all the speedruns of them. I used to be so confused when I played this on the Game Boy Color because I never understood what those things that were rolling, the armadillos that were rolling were. I always thought they sounded very crunchy on the original. There's a secret up there which I'll get. They always sounded very crunchy on the original Game Boy Color hardware. remember, it's not yet that it comes up, but it is, I think it's this one. Nah. It's a little bit later on where there's a bit of a tense jump. I'm just trying to remember, is it here where, no, might be further along, I've forgotten all the secrets. I won't get killed by that guy, not yet. And yeah, that's always the jump that I stuff up. It looks like all these years on, and I still haven't gotten better at that part. Alright. It's a pity I never got to play this when the SNES was big, because I'm sure these graphics were mind-blowing. I remember always thinking, even on the GameCube, that these graphics just did not look that impressive, but I'm sure on like a smaller screen with, you know, the classic CRT blur, I'm sure they would have been quite impressive, especially with that weather change with the rain. I always never forget to get the Kong letter at the end there. Not that it's the most well hidden. Now, it'd be interesting to see how Nintendo deals with this in DK Bonanza, because apparently Cranky Kong was the original Donkey Kong that kidnapped Pauline, or I guess it's called Lady in the original. But from what I can see of DK Bonanza, it really looks like they're trying to turn Pauline and Donkey Kong's friendship into something, just, I guess, a friendship instead of a kidnapping, which is always an upgrade. But Cranky Kong's also in the game, so I'm not quite sure about how the chronology of that's all working, but I'm sure Nintendo will figure it out at some point. Now, if I remember correctly, these damn jumping ones. I always get a bit nervous trying to jump on their heads. I just never feel like DK looks like he's going to jump quite high enough. I also don't like playing as DK. He just has those really awful hitboxes. There we go. Another secret area. Which is definitely what I need, because I have gotten very rusty as I've gotten older, and DK has always been a hard game, but I'm just not quite as good as I used to be. There we go, let's get the these bees, there we go. Get that DK barrel. I don't remember there being so many DK barrels in the original, but I guess it has been quite some time. I forget what these bees are called, but they always were my favourite enemies. I actually really liked them in DK64. I thought they had a really cool design there. And these coral snakes as well. I never fully appreciated that those... I know I said I played on the Game Boy Color, but I never fully appreciated that those crocodiles were blue. They always looked like a kind of sickly off-green in the original. Now, this is definitely one of my favourite tracks in the game, Aquatic Ambience. I mean, it's pretty basic. Most people love this track. Definitely my favourite track in the series is from DKC2, which is everyone's favourite, Bramble Blast. But Aquatic Ambience is also really nice. I often put it on when I'm studying for work. It's just, you know, not too much is happening. And it's just got like a really chill vibe. Now, I never understood the hitbox in this. I'm sure someone could enlighten me on how the hitbox works for the animal buddies, but they always feel like they're grossly abnormal. I swear there used to be a secret out there, but maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it's later in the level. But yeah. I think there's... Oh, that's alright. I didn't really like... Oh, he comes back. I never knew you could get back on the animal buddy. I always thought he in the water. I don't think I've ever accomplished that before. Normally they run off too far, too quickly. It's alright, there would have been a repeat one there anyway. Just gotta avoid the sharks. And if I remember correctly, the N is up here. Yes, I definitely played World 1 in DK C far more than I ever played any of the other worlds. I think this game gets hard, very, very difficult, very, very quick. But hopefully we'll be able to finish it off with all the skills I've built up over the years. We'll see how we go. And this is the first appearance of Donkey Kong, I think. He's a pretty cool dude. I always used to be a little bit confused as to what you did with this barrel in the first world. I never really got past the first world when I first started playing. I always thought it was just something to change how you looked on the minimap without realizing it's how you switch between the different zones, essentially. But yeah. Anything up here? There is something up there. I always check these because there's always something secret in these levels. Kind of like in Mario, where jumping on top of the end of the level in World 1, 2 takes you to the warp zone. It's the same here. I don't know why. I always thought this was like supremely difficult when I was younger, but definitely not in this level. I know it gets a lot harder later on. But for now, we're still in the clear. I'm gonna practice my my Looney Tunes jumps, as I like to call them. It's always... Oh, dang it. I'm stuck with DK now. That's never a good sign. I always liked the physics in the old DK. There's something really satisfying about being able to roll off the edge and do a jump, which is not like that. That was a terrible demonstration. That was rolling off the edge and failing to do a jump. But perfect timing for that. Alright, let's get Diddy back. And hopefully never lose him again, because I do not want to have to deal with DK's hitboxes. Oh, God. What am I doing? Alright. Oh, we got the double bounce. We got the bananas, because we already have those Kong letters. I do like how it saves the Kong letters in between runs. It's quite nice. Alright, and here's where it tries to mix it up, adding in the... Oh, actually, this is the one, yeah, I remember. This used to stress me out no end, trying to get the cycles in line. But it's not too bad. Unless you do that. It is bad. It's still bad. Or am I still bad? That is the question. Alright, let's go again. Let's not lose Diddy. And let's finish this off and get to the boss so I can talk about that one. I could never interpret who the boss of World 1 was. It took me, I guess, till I played it much later, the SNES version, before I figured out what it was. In my defense, if you've ever, like I said, if you've ever played the Game Boy Color version, then you will know what I'm talking about. It is very hard to tell exactly what's going on. Very hard indeed. Oh gosh, what am I doing? Alright, quiet time, gotta concentrate. There we go. gosh. We're still going. Okay, now I remember why I hated this level. Now I remember why I hated this level. I just feel like, I'm a musician, I play piano, but I feel like the timing of this always gives me anxiety, and I always spend way longer than I need to. And the longer you take, I think the harder it is, especially with the barrel timing, this one in particular. You don't need to time that one too well, because you can actually fall into it. This one always stresses me out as well, because if you stuff up the timing, it's just instant death and embarrassment. So let's not stuff up the timing on this one. And, wow, I stuffed up the timing, but task failed successfully, as I like to say. And we've almost synced up, which is never a good thing on this level, but there we go. Let's get up here, which is what I was planning on, because there's a G up there, and as I said, I need all the lives that I can muster, because this game does not hold back. I think it's the level where you head to the treetops where I start to struggle. And we got a save point, which is always a good sign. First save point, and... oh, actually, no, it's not this guy that I struggled with. I always knew this was, I guess, a beaver, or maybe it's a... yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a beaver. I always knew this was a beaver. It's World 2 that I always struggled a little bit with. To be honest, I can't believe I just let him hit me. What an embarrassment. But we got the banana back. It's got the Nintendo sticker on, the classic. Looks like in DK Bonanza, though, they're swapping out the classic, I guess, edible banana for some rocks that are apparently edible. Like, sure enough, Nintendo, I'll believe you. There we go. I always liked one of my favourite things to do when I used to play was to pick up the DK barrel and actually see how far I could carry it through the level. Obviously, doing a terrible job of demonstrating how far I can carry it through the level just then. But yeah, I wonder what everyone's favourite animal buddy is. I think mine's always been Rambi. I don't know if anyone actually likes the frog, so if you like the frog, let me know. Definitely a choice. Like, the extra jump's kind of good, but it's a bit boring. It's basically what he can already do, but better, which is pretty cool. Alright, let's get this. Oh, I almost completely forgot about these bonus stages. These would cause me so much anxiety when I was younger, because I could never understand what I was actually supposed to do, and I don't know what the definitive method is for I could never figure out what the definitive way of collecting all the stuff was, like whether you should go forward and backwards, or if you should go all the way across. I just kind of demonstrated my classic method, which was just to get all the way across to this and then to slowly go backwards and forwards as you track back to the start of the level. I'm sure it is possible on to collect every single one of these golden little statues, but I've never been able to accomplish it. Kind of be a good challenge video, I guess, but I just don't have the time commitment to put in to pull that one off. 3 lives though, I'll take it. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. One of my favourite levels is coming up though. Once I'm done this. Not that I hate this level, like it's a pretty good level. It's slowly ramping up the difficulty. You've got more places to fall off. Oh my gosh, the hitboxes on these animal buddies, I just never understand. Always overshoot the letters. But I think it's the next level that might be my favorite level. Minecart Carnage? I always thought it was Minecart Mayhem, but I suppose... I did hear that apparently you can skip a whole bunch of the section, which I'd actually never heard about that before. And apparently it's true. That is a secret for all you that would like to pass that level without the headache. Now, I am tempted to go back and finish that the proper way, but I think for now we'll just head on, just because I'm aware that I need to save my lives. But yes, for any of you that have not known about that before, it was actually a TikTok video just the other day that I was watching that taught me about... Oh, I forgot that guy jumps back. That told me about that one. Oh, stuffed up my jump again. Alright, let's have a look then. Now, can I get Diddy back relatively quickly? I don't know if I can. There's definitely a secret that you can follow that you can get by pushing the tire along. I just don't feel like pushing the tire along right now. Alright, let's get that. And then let's not stuff up our jump this time. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I want. There we go. Diddy's back. And let's take out one of those bees. One of the things I really like about DK1 is just the satisfying spring. I'll show you again. The satisfying spring that you get from the barrels. I don't know how they did that because everything's pre-rendered. I'm not actually sure how many frames of animation's involved in that, but it always just looked so satisfying to jump on the tires. Although I was very disappointed when I found out the tires are in fact not very bouncy like that. They are quite firm, and you definitely are not. Oh gosh, I'm trying to get the level and trying to get the save point. Just lost Diddy again. This is another notoriously hard level to tell what is actually going on on the GameCube. Not GameCube, Game Boy Color. I think it's so hard just because I'm not sure what they actually... Oh, I completely forgot about that other bee guy. I'm not sure what they're actually aiming with the darkness. Like the level title doesn't even allude to it. It's just Bouncy Bonanza, but I can't tell if maybe the darkness is supposed to be, I don't know, like you're deeper in the cave. Oh, I almost did it again. You're deeper in the cave system, but yeah, not a fan. Did a roll there where I shouldn't have, but that's okay. We've still got DK, unfortunately. Not that I wanted DK, but it's better than nothing. Alright, let's jump up here, because I think... I always found this very strange. The animation for DK jumping on... Well, I'll call him Froggy, just out of respect for Big the Cat, but... I always thought the animation for DK jumping on Froggy was very strange. At the very least, Froggy is getting a very good readjustment of his spinal column. Oh, I almost forgot, you can actually jump on them with Froggy, can't you? I don't know why I'm trying to avoid them. Whatever. Alright, Diddy, let's lose you. Oh god. What's the time for this? Alright, let's work. The quiet times are when I'm concentrating. Did not want to stuff up the timing of that. Did not want to have to put up with DK's hitboxes again. Which actually... where did I miss the N? I think it must have been higher up there. This is where I start to get a little bit unsure of all of the secrets. First world, no issues. Second world, we're getting a bit shaky. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. Oh, was that even worth the effort? I don't know. Probably would have given me a life if I'd have gotten that one, but definitely was not playing that one very well. Another one of my favorite levels, Stop and Go Station, is such a classic. The panic you get when you stuff up hitting the barrels is something I have never forgotten. I did always think that maybe it should turn... Hold up. DK can turn that on? I did always think that maybe it should go red when... Like, oh gosh. I understand why it's like green when they can go and red when they're stopped, but I always thought that it was slightly more threatening when the red light was showing. I guess trying to give you that sense of panic that you have to get to the next barrel. Alright, let's go. No more mistakes. We're going to pass this first go, I'm sure of it. And we're going to do great. Oh dear, I've stuffed that up. Oh, I've never seen that up before. Now, again, I know I keep coming back to the Game Boy Color version, but you absolutely cannot see that little guy that's going on the one that's going up and down. Impossible to see. That's also the perfect example of, I think, one of the first times where you have to use that Looney Tunes time in order to be able to collect that O. Now, yeah, there we go. I knew there was a secret there. Oh, I've got to work on my barrel timings. Quite embarrassing. Oh, that was even worse than the first time. There we go. Look, whatever. Oh, there we go. That's better. Oh. He says as he plummets himself into the ground. Well, I found the secret, and that's what counts. Oh, dang it. The claptraps, I think they're called. Very unhappy with you, claptrap. Oh, I don't know if I'm going fast enough. Oh, yes, I am. Perfect. Let's get that in, because heaven knows we'll need it. That's another thing about this game. Like, that's completely on me, but I always stuff up where my exact landing hitbox is when I'm playing DK. That's why I try to swap off him as soon as I possibly can. Let's go in here, though. Alright, we got a chance at redemption. And once again... Oh. That's all I needed from that. Oh, that was embarrassing. There we go. There we go. Oh, the same thing twice. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. DK fans were definitely spoiled by Rare, though. This is such a quality... Oh. Need to stop talking when I'm in the danger zone. Alright, let's not stuff this up again. We're gonna successfully fail to pass the next section. Now, I can't... Look, to be honest, it's pretty hard to think of, like, a more charismatic villain that DK has had than King K. Rool. I really can't do the timing of that last one. That was 3 in a row. But yeah, I don't think we've ever seen such a charismatic villain. To be honest, I think King K. Rool's probably one of Nintendo's best villain. He's just, like, he's very one-dimensional, but he's just so well designed. There's something very endearing, oddly threatening, yet very endearing about King K. Rool. And he has one of the classic endings of, like, all the Nintendo games, which hopefully we'll get to. I don't think we'll get to it this stream. Definitely not at the rate I'm going. But... oh, gosh. There we go. And there we go. And there we go. Oh, and I definitely did not want... yeah. I definitely wanted to push that tire, is what I was trying to say. I definitely wanted to push that tire. Oh gosh, we're back here again. I guess third time's the charm on this secret. Or fourth time's the charm, one might even say. Alright, let's have a look. Alright. Game face is on. Concentrating. There we go. And then we're going across. And we're going down. And finally. Alright. Redemption. And we're leaving. And we're immediately stuffing up the very next part. Alright, we are... well, he didn't know if he wanted to stop or go. We've got that. Now, I am genuinely glad that Nintendo still supports their SNES controllers, because no offense to, like, the Pro controllers or anything like ooh. No offense to any of the Pro controllers or anything, but the Switch Pro Controller 2 is quite an experience. I was testing that out in one of my other videos, and it is definitely not... it's definitely not something that I was expecting. The D-pad has this really bad habit of putting in up and down inputs when you're not expecting them, which is, you know, less than ideal. I'm just going to take a quick breather and see if I can fix. I don't think I set a thumbnail for this. It's a bit embarrassing. Let's see if I can check that out. Oh no, I did set a thumbnail. Perfect. Alright. Jump back in. Alright. Let's have a look. I'll definitely need the save point. Probably even gonna need to have to go back to level 1 at the rate that we're going. Oh yeah, I remember this level, but I remember there is a secret there. Not exactly what I was aiming for. I completely forget. Oh yeah, the wheels. I completely forget how to defeat those guys. I don't even know if they are defeatable. I do remember needing to bring this tire. I can't remember if it's for this or you need to use the tire to... yeah, there it is. You need to use the tire to get that secret. And now let's spell out rare. I don't know why I used to find that so hard as a kid, to be honest, but don't find it hard anymore. Assuming if you hit the crocodiles, it ends it, but it's been a while. Oh, it's a bit... I feel like if you roll into those guys, I'll test it out. I'm pretty sure they laugh at you, which is quite a funny animation. I do remember those guys jumping around in the pit. And we're back to Diddy. Thank you, Diddy. I was always surprised. I got a bit confused, like when I looked into it, that DK's actually not the star of most of the DK Country games. I get it though. He was the worst character by far in DKC. There's also a secret up there, which I often failed to get back in the day. Unfortunately, we're not going to get all the Kong letters in this playthrough, mainly because oh geez, he is schmoovin'. We're not going to get all the Kong letters because at the very start, for like 2 seconds, you might have seen it. Oh, what is going on in there? For 2 seconds, you might have seen it. I picked the wrong barrel. So, yeah, that's definitely not happening. There we go. Oh, we don't need you, Froggy. Oh, actually, maybe we do. Oh, no, we don't. Oh, maybe we do. Oh, no, we don't. No, we definitely wanted you for that. Oh, well. Successful. I think this might be the final boss. What does Cranky have to say to us? I don't remember most of Cranky's dialogue. You can find the fun in ropey rampage between a rock and a hard place. Oh, this is how you find the secrets. I always used to use game facts, but I suppose I never realized that Cranky is actually the one that tells you where to find them. I just assumed that people had access to like one of the guides or something like that. Oh, what am I doing? Not paying attention, which is never ideal for this boss. I never used to understand what was going on in this boss. Let's try that again. Take it from the top. I never used to understand what was going on in that boss. I couldn't figure out whether or not that, what that bold thing was coming in from the side of the screen, but, oh, I did not mean to do that. Not realizing it was a flamingo, I think. I also never understood what it was actually spitting at you, but I'm pretty sure it's coconuts. And I think the other issue that I used to have is landing on the beak, like I just demonstrated, doesn't actually hit it. Oh, that was a bit high. It's like a pseudo hit, but that's a correct hit. And he is down. I don't know why I struggled with that back in the day, but I say as I died a couple of times to it, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. I think this is where I really start to feel the difficulty creep up though. I never liked that guy. I think this is where they get a bit crazy with the barrels as well. And as we demonstrated from like the first level, barrels were not my strong suit, and neither was avoiding this guy apparently, but you know, here we are. So yes, fun DK trivia that I know is that's where the Kong letter is. I suppose that's a bit of fun, but interestingly, of all of the Kongs, of which there are quite a few, the only Kong that is an orangutan is Lanky Kong. Well, the only Kong that is a friendly Kong that's an orangutan is Lanky Kong. I'm not sure if maybe they added one later in the series. I feel like potentially they did. I do not remember this secret. was not expecting that physics. But definitely, at least up until DK64, which is personally my favourite Donkey Kong, which I know, controversial opinion, the game that killed the platforming genre, or the collectathon platforming genre, I should say. I really need to work on finishing off those dodo birds. Or vultures, I should say. I don't know what dodos. Oh. Found another secret though, so worth it. Alright, there we go, and there we go. Not the one I need. I need the swordfish. I hold DK personally responsible for my incorrect view of different wildlife, and everything having significantly larger eyes than potentially it did in real life. One of my favourite things in DK64 though was the Tromper minigames where you where you had to shoot the watermelons at them. That was personally the minigames that I loved the most. And I'm going to be honest, the reason why I think I liked it is in in Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, that minigame where you sort the mail, that is top quality stuff. And that is very similar. So, oh no, my worst nightmare. And we passed it. Oh, and we almost died. Ooh, I did not see those guys throwing those nuts down. I actually have never thought about it, whether or not they're nuts or if they're supposed to be rocks, but I always thought they were walnuts, which is a pretty specific type of nut to think it is, but they might actually be coconuts now that I think about it. Especially considering the boss. There we go. Ooh. Alright, buddy. That's enough of that behaviour. Alright, there we go. Ooh, that just skimmed the top of him. Alright, you can tell I'm thinking right now. And there we go, and there we go. Don't stuff it up now that we're on a roll. Oh, and look, close enough. Close enough. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's a win. I've got to take a breather after that. Just give me 2 seconds. Alright, we're moving on to Treetop Town. I do like how in these DK games they always tried to alliterate where they could, which is where you use the first letter of each of each game. I see someone's just commented in the chat. Welcome. You can see how awful I am at DK, but while you're here, what is your favorite? Yes, I'm sure you are just a mere viewer. What is your favorite DK? What's your favorite DK game? Do you like the classics? The old Jumpman DK, where DK's the villain? Are you a fan of the rarewares? Or do you also have the superior opinion that DK64 is the best DK? I'm only just now appreciating, playing on the big screen, that what is actually going on in the background of this level. I could never tell on the Game Boy Color. Oh, so yeah. Alright, well, if DK64 is your favorite, then what is your favorite level in DK64? A tougher question. I mean, sometimes people can't remember all of the levels in DK64, but I'll definitely say, I can say a couple of them off memory, but I don't think I remember all of them. There was something hijinks. There was the Crystal Caves. There was Frantic Factory. There was a castle that I never... Oh, I completely forgot that was one of the ones that auto blasts you. There was the castle level. And I'm getting them confused with... I think there was TikTok Woods as well. Or is that from... Was TikTok Woods from Banjo-Kazooie? I don't remember. Anyway, my favourite, I would say, is Frantic Factory. Even though it is a pain in the ass. Is Fungi Forest the one that you sort of change the weather? I did it again. I really need to concentrate. Is that the one where you change the weather? And it has that really difficult mission with the ghost. Is that in Fungi Forest? The one where you're versing like the giant Kremlin ghost and you have to collect all of the coins, and if you stuff up... I'm going to stop talking for 2 seconds and concentrate, but the one where you stuff up and it takes all your coins, I think that is the one. That is the hardest mission in the game. Alright, we got DK out of here again, thank God. We get my boy Diddy back. Not to be clipped out of context, I did the same thing again. Oh yeah, the day to night switch. It's Banjo-Kazooie, right, is the one where it has the seasons. Oh, I'm just basically repeating the same errors over and over again right now. But Banjo-Kazooie, I think, is the one where... Yeah, it has seasons. We got that one. I almost killed myself. I just was paused to think for 2 seconds. Ooh. Now... I forget if I shoot out here. I think there's a secret here. Yeah, there is. What's your favorite? If you had to only pick one, would you pick Banjo-Kazooie or would you pick... stuff that up. Would you pick DK64? Because it's a bit of a toss-up. I have a quite controversial opinion. I think I would pick... I think I'd pick Banjo-Kazooie as my least favorite, and I'd actually put DK64 as my second favorite, and Banjo-Tooie is my favorite. But I'm a little bit biased. I like the random unlocks and power-ups in Banjo-Tooie too much. And I know there's a lot of unlocks and power-ups in DK64, but it does kind of feel like they copy-pasted a bit. Like they've got, you know, the music instruments where it's... Ooh, I'm so glad I didn't die there. Where it's just like, press this to unlock stuff. What's your favorite barrel challenge? I'm not sure if you're in the stream. I think I was talking about my favorite barrel challenge, and I like the one that's like, you might have already heard me say this. I don't know when you joined. From Wind Waker, where you're sorting the letters, there's a barrel challenge where you're doing the same thing, where the fairies are trying to fly across and you're shooting them all with watermelons. That's definitely my personal favorite. Oh God, there we go. And there we go. Cool. All right. There we go. You can see when I'm concentrating, I can't talk at the same time. But we finally passed Treetop Town, which is what we wanted. That's alright, you're engaging quite well. What's your favorite barrel challenge? I know you said you don't like all of them, but genuinely interested. Geez, I need to play a bit better. Genuinely interested in what your favorite barrel challenge is. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic, because if I remember correctly, the one where you have to hunt the beavers into the hole is notoriously buggy. Oh my gosh. Is notoriously buggy. Oh, you were saying it's terrible. Yeah, I agree. The one where you're trying to chase the things into the hole is the worst one in the game. And the maze ones are quite fun, although they are very stressful. As far as the 2D DK games, I would say... you missed it earlier in the stream, but I was saying that as soon as I get to level 3, I start to fall apart. I don't know what it is about the level 3 design. I think it might be the clutter in the background, but I just can't seem to differentiate what's going on in the background and pass it. Oh, do you have an incomplete version of DK64? For shame. Oh, I need to use my Looney Tunes skills. I'm actually gonna probably play through DK64 again. I might even stream it. I'm just waiting for my analog 3D to come in. Not that I can't stream it on the Switch Online. Oh, I can't stream it on the Switch Online service, and I'd have to whip out my Wii U, which is always an option, but unfortunately I'm from the PAL region, and Nintendo thought, you know what PAL gamers love? Laggy frames. For those of you who don't know, the Wii U version of DKC64, if you're playing on the PAL version, it takes a 25 frame per second game and forces it into a 30 frame per second container. And if you can imagine just for a second how awful that sounds, it plays just about as awful as you're imagining. Yeah, I'll have to try it at some point. But like I said, I'll wait for my analog and then I'll play through. But I can definitely give it a go and see if I can... I just did the same exact error that I did last time. I can definitely give it a go. I used to be really good at DK64. I used to be good. But I also used to be good at this game. And we can see Exhibit A right now. I want Diddy though. Okay, I need to go down, I need to go up, I need to go down, and then I need to stay down, and then I need to go up, and stay up, down, and up, and there we go. Past it. It's been a while since I played DK64, but I'm just trying to remember. Is that the one where... What's the level where it has... No, I'm gonna finish that sentence right there, because I was gonna ask, is that the level where it has the impossible button tapping race? But no, I believe that is actually Banjo-Tooie with Canary Mary's button tapping shenanigans. I'm actually really good at the... I'm actually, look, not to brag, but I'm very good at both the Jetpack Joyride and the original, like Nintendo 64 DK. I need to stop doing that. I need to actually concentrate. Nintendo 64 DK. Jetpack mainly because I have Rare Replay, and I've got the all of the achievements in the original Jetpack game, so I'm actually quite good at it now. And then the original DK, I've been practicing a bit on NES Championships Edition. I'm not sure if you've ever played that game, but have been practicing, and I'm not too shabby if I do say so myself. I think I also had a lot of practice. One of my cousins actually had the original DK Game & Watch, so I put in far too many hours into the original DK on Game & Watch. Alright, let's not stuff this up at the end. I'm just gonna quiet time for 2 seconds and then I'll read the chat. There we go. Passed. Oh, don't be so jealous. You just need to practice. You'll get there. I'm just trying to think what the... Oh, that doesn't even let you go back. Well, that's just rude game design, to be honest. Oh, this is the level where you get chased by the dude? I was wondering when this one came up. I feel like my memory of how the levels go gets quite hazy once I get to past or to World 3. But I always remember that there's like an ice level coming up that's just pure hell. What other N64 games do you have? I am interested to hear about that. Oh, and I should probably not read the chat so much when I'm getting chased by a murderous mole rat or whatever it is, because I will definitely not be able to pass the level if I didn't know there was a secret there. Oh, the border right, the 10 pixels missing, actually by choice. This is just a temporary border for now, and it is definitely a choice to have the 10 pixels missing. And I know that sounds like it's just an excuse, but no, I actually did that as a design choice. But I'm definitely going to work on a better border, because that was just something I whipped together in like 2 seconds. Oh gosh. It's like the scene from Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, just with an incredibly angry beaver, I'd like to say. I don't know if you have any thoughts on whether or not it's a beaver. Are we gonna get our first game over? No. Okay, we've got 9 levels. We've got some room to move. Got some wiggle room. How much latency is there, by the way? I actually don't know. I imagine it's probably 30 seconds or so, but it's always hard to tell. Oh yeah, Banjo-Tooie. It's a pity you don't have Conker's Bad Fur Day. That is an exceedingly rare game. Although Banjo-Tooie, I believe, is also quite rare because it came out so late in the N64 lifespan. How do you play N64 anymore? I believe it's only got like obviously it doesn't have HDMI, and most things only have HDMI. Do you connect it via VGA, or is there another connection that you use? Oh, look, I've learnt my lesson with Mario Party. I don't need to skin the palms of my hands anymore. I'm trying to remember which game that was. Was that the Bowser game where you have to spin it around and around, or was that... Is that the minigame where... I'm trying to remember if it's the Bowser game or there's another minigame where you have to spin around and around and around and it is excruciatingly painful and I have no idea why they put it in the game. You probably know better than I do. Oh, I need to stop doing that. Yeah, you'll have to get like an adapter thing. Or maybe I'll even have to borrow a cartridge from you or two when I get my analog pocket. There's a place around the corner that sells N64 cartridges. And when I say around the corner, I do mean around the corner, which is pretty cool, but I've never been yet because I was like, I'll save it till I actually get it in hand, because who knows when it's arriving. It's actually about 6 months overdue to arrive, my analog pocket. But they said it's coming in July, so it better be coming in July, to say the least. I'll be very unhappy if they delay it again. I do want to play Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine on it, because that was always a game I wanted to play as a kid, but I don't even think they had it in Australia. I think it was a Blockbuster exclusive. Which I know we had Blockbuster in Australia, but I don't know if it was... Oh my gosh, I did the exact same issue again. What's your favorite minigame from Mario Party on the N64? Because I think I would have to say that my favorite game is... My favorite minigame, I know it sounds stupid, but it's the one where... And it's actually not a great minigame, but I just remember it vividly. It's the one where one person is on the cloud trying to get the piranha plant to catch up with the rest of the three, like a 3v1 minigame. I always liked that minigame. Even though, as I said, it's not really a good, well-balanced minigame. And I think if the three are like at least somewhat competent, I think it's really geared towards the 3, or am I misremembering that? Is it geared towards the 1? Oh my gosh. Oh, stuffed it up. Is rope jump the one that is with the fireball and it's just jump rope? Like it's like fireball jump, skip jump rope thing in Mario Party Superstars. Alright, let's actually pass it this time. I'm gonna concentrate and remember not to stop because I get accosted by... Well, I won't get accosted. I won't stop because I get accosted by the blue guys, but I will apparently get stun locked and jump off the edge. Oh yeah, I cannot ever look at another jump rope minigame again because I have the jump rope master challenge done from Final Fantasy IX. And for any of you who have played Final Fantasy IX, there is a challenge for jumping rope 1,000 times without stuffing up. And it is as dreadful and miserable as it sounds. And so I will never play another jump rope minigame willingly. What did you think of the new... What did you think of the new Mario Party that had all the throwback ones? I've played a lot of Mario Party 1, I think. Was it Mario Party 1? The one with the Koopa Troopa Beach. I played a lot of the one with that in it. And personally, I do like the new Mario Party that they released, like the Superstars one. But, there's always a but. I think that I prefer the N64 games. I don't know why. I'm not sure if it's just the balancing was slightly better with the board, or the balancing was slightly worse with the boards. Like, I actually don't know. Anyway, thank God, past that. What a dreadful thing to put at the end of the level. I'm assuming if you like the... I'll let you answer that question. We'll jump back. Oh, see, here's what I was saying about the orangutan gang. I really should have saved just then. But these are actually the orangutans were all villains until Donkey Kong came up. Alright, did he come save me from DK's horrible hitboxes? Oh. I always hated those grey ones. How many board games are there in Mario Party 1? Oh, that was my favourite thing about this, that you could oh gosh, I always forget how to do this. There we go. That you could always run past the crocs. Yeah, no, fair enough. I think that's a reasonable assessment. Like, it really... Ooh. Well, say goodbye to the ostrich, I guess. It really did feel like it should have had some more courses. It also felt like it was like so close to being good, but they just stopped short of putting enough content in. Like, it had unlockable characters, right? But like 2 of them. And they weren't even unlockable hard. She just had to find them, which I always thought was a bit odd. Oh wait, I'm getting them mixed up. That was Superstars, not Jamboree. I don't even think Superstars had unlockable characters, now that I think about it. Or 8 boards in the first one. Which one's Eternal Star? Is the first one the one with Bowser's space, like, laser? Or is that from 3? Oh, geez. Man, settle down on the caffeine. That's a very caffeinated throw. Alright. I reckon once we finish the boss of this world, we're going to call the stream to a close, just because I don't want to beat all of it in one go. I guess it depends on how quickly we get to the boss. Ooh, I am so glad that I juked that guy and then immediately ran into his barrel 2 seconds later. The one that made it into Superstars. And... oh, I had to jump up there. Eternal Star was fun. The sci-fi one from Mario 2. I can never tell if I've saved unless I go back in again. Oh, the good music is finally back again. And now it's over. But it'll be back in 2 seconds. I forgot those pearls shoot out. Those pearls hurt. Did you ever play Rayman 2 on Nintendo 64, or have you ever played Rayman 2? Speaking of N64 games, I was looking at the list and I didn't see Rayman 2 on there, and I was going to say, if you like 3D platformers, then you better make sure that that is something that you've ticked off. I reckon Rayman 2 is another one of the games I'm going to track down. I know it's been re-released a million times, but Rayman 2 for N64 is definitely one of the tracks that I'm going to, or one of the games that I'm going to track down. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. They were setting the groundwork for the googly eyes in Banjo-Kazooie with this one. Also, the level designer went a little bit overboard with the sharks. Jeez, how many was that? Oh, Rayman 2 on PC is not too bad. I must say, I do despise playing 3D platformers with WASD, but I guess you can play with a controller now easier than ever. Oh my gosh. Just really not nailing that timing. Alright, come back, Diddy. This level always just went a little bit overboard with the, oh, I missed the K. A little overboard with the, oh, damn. With the sharks. Yeah, literally, there are more, in that one section, there were more sharks than all of Mario Party Superstars. It's not even an exaggeration. I ran straight into that guy. Actually didn't see, what was the name of this level? Was it like Shark City? Or was I imagining that? Because if so, fair play to them for having so many sharks. At least they live up to their name. There's nothing worse than when the name of a level doesn't match up. There we go. There we go. Alright. Come with me. I always find DK is a bit of a hard one to stream because you look away for 2 seconds and you're dead. Let's get this though. Alright. I'll go to the side in a sec. Alright, game face is on. We've died 3 times on one level. Time for some silence, some concentration. It's got to listen to aquatic ambience. Actually, is this still aquatic ambience? I've got my audio quite low, so I can't tell. Clam City. Look, to be honest, Shark City, Clam City, kind of the same thing. It's got both. Shark City, Clam City. To be honest, I'll be able to get some lives back because I've been able to farm some of those. Shark City, Clam City, I've been dying to neither of those. I've been dying to the damn... Oh, that's interesting. Dying to the damn octopi, I think. I never used to... I've said a lot on the stream about the fact that growing up I used to play DKC on a Game Boy Color, and I actually never knew that it was octopuses, or octopi, I guess? Octopi? That were those like swirly things. For some reason when I was young and stupid I used to think it was a tumbleweed, but to be honest it kind of did look like a tumbleweed in my defense. Obviously it wasn't a tumbleweed, you don't get tumbleweeds underwater. But I blame Nintendo for that one. It definitely fits into the realm of ports that can exist, but probably shouldn't. Donkey Kong Country for Game Boy Color, that is. The other things that I would fit into that category for sure are... Did it just send me all the way back? Am I going crazy? Other things that would fit into that category are Doom on Switch. It's another perfect example of ports that exist but probably shouldn't. Alright. We're going to get in the zone and not die to this. Clam. Or to these octopi. Okay, we almost very much did die to those octopi, but that's okay. We got past them. We did it. Perfect. Alright, Bumblebee Rumble. Now, this is where the bosses... I don't know if they get harder, but I definitely died to them more as a kid. I definitely don't think this is... I hate that I've got DK now, because DK just stinks. Let's give it another go. I'm not used to seeing this much of the bosses, to be honest. I always watch speed runs, and they are much more skilled than I will ever be. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, for fuck's sake, DK. There we go. Oh, it's just when you swap over from... It's just when you swap over from Diddy to DK. Just getting used to the fact that... Oh, gosh, you can't hide in that corner. The DK just takes so long to throw a barrel like that. Alright, there we go. And now we're gonna go under him. And then we're gonna wait for that guy to go there, and then we're gonna hit him again. And we're gonna go under him instead of waiting in the corner like I did like 3 times in a row, even though I knew it doesn't work. I thought he would transition across. To be honest, I would much prefer if there were... Oh, I did not mean to do that. I would much prefer if the DK barrel just gave you 2 diddies. There we go. There we go, there we go. Alright, and is this the final one? It is. Done it. Nah, this is a legit playthrough. We don't use rewind it. Alright. I think I'm going to try one level, and then I think we'll call the stream to an end there. Yeah, we'll call the stream to an end there. I'm getting at the end of my tolerance for ice physics already. I remember why the difficulty ramps up in this level. Alright, I reckon we'll call it there for now. And I will see you guys next time for World 4. And I'm just going to create a suspend point, which I know is technically against the rules, but also this game doesn't give you... I completely forgot that this game doesn't give you a save point until you get to the end of Barrel Flights. Alright. Thanks so much. Cheerio. I'll log off for now, and I'll see you guys next time in the next stream, and hopefully we'll be able to finish all these DK games before DK Bonanza comes out.